Namaste. This is Sujata Vaidya, PRN number 2311217. I'm attempting the oral for paper 15, Upanishads, MSVW 13. The topic of my choice is explaining the importance and superiority of Upanishad Jnana of life through stories. So basically, Upanishad can be expressed as studying higher thoughts under the guidance of a guru. It is gaining knowledge sitting near the guru. Shankaracharya in Katha Upanishad explains that this term itself could have three meanings. The first is to destroy, and it destroys the ignorance of the importance that is given to the manifest and the mundane world. The second is to acquire, and to acquire higher understanding and the knowledge of the self, the Atma and the Brahma. And third is to end or to cease. And this end is the end of duality, of knowing Atma Brahman as self. The Upanishads are best learned through stories, because stories, which is a verbal form of philosophies, are discussed. Different topics that are covered under Upanishad are deeply philosophical and difficult to comprehend. And the best way to express the philosophies is through stories. Most important is in stories and in the renditions that are given, a person, the sadhak, is able to relate to the personalities, to relate to the circumstances as something that he has experienced or known of in his own life. And it is through these that the Upanishads have taught us unique philosophies. How are the stories themselves given? There are two styles in which, there are many styles. Of them, there is one that is a conversation that comes forth as a form of debate. The question-answer series in the debates between two very profound personalities somehow convey the newness in topics and the philosophical, unseen and hidden meaning behind the stories or the outline of the stories. The second is when there is repetition. The same philosophy is told to in various different words, because repetition makes things be retained in the mind. In this way, the style of Upanishad is very, very unique. It is said that all the stories within the Upanishads have absolutely no faults, they lack nothing, and they have the highest importance. The Upanishads are not very much like the Sutra Granthas, the different Darshanik Granthas. They are purely philosophical. Although the Upanishads do express philosophy, it so does through the stories that deeply impact and transform the sadhak. There are three basic topics that are transferred in these stories of the Upanishad. They speak about karma, of upasana, and jnana. Samhita's Granthas talk about the varna, the description of the Shruti Granthas. They describe the deities in a glorified manner and their impact. The Brahman Granthas are all karma, the mantras' usefulness, where they are used in the yajnas. What is the impact of the yajnas, and everything to do with karma, the actions and the results of these karmas. Aranyak is the time which moves away from the karma kand and forces a person towards introspection. The granthas are studied or sung or applied in forest. The forest means actually a state of isolation and detachment from the burdens of mundane life. Over here, rituals end. And the stories related over here help a person understand the limited impact and importance of rituals. The discussions of knowledge, of experience, the deeper meanings derived through the experiences arises through storytelling and debate. After this introspection comes the time for upasana, which is in Upanishad, where the essence of the knowledge arises out. There is a lot of overlapping in the flow of all the four, the Samhita, the Brahman, the Aranyak, and the Upanishad. But that is the style of our Ved of transferring deeper philosophies, taking the sadhak from Karma Kand to Jnana Kand. Why are the stories important in Upanishad is a question we could all ask. Basically, Upanishad takes us to understanding the depth, the vastness, the truth, and the purity of Brahman and Atma. These are paroksha. They cannot be directly grasped through words, through logical arguments, and through experiences of another. This is abstract. And it is a little bit like describing how a father would feel love for the son. It cannot be put into words. It is put into the derived impact of the actions, of the experiences, of the understanding and the wisdom that arises from the various stories that are shared in the Upanishad. Some of the beautiful stories and some of the impact of the philosophies that are learned through the Upanishads, I relate over here. Ishavasi Upanishad, there are stories and narratives that actually the core teaching that arises is that you can renounce and still enjoy everything in the world. You can recognize it by understanding that everything is pervaded by Brahma. Kena Upanishad has more storytelling, where the Devas and the Asuras clash, and the greatness of Yaksha, that is the Brahma, is understood through the mysterious Devi Uma Himavati. The message that is derived out of all of this is that you have to overcome your ego, and that in spite of all the powers that the gods possess and yield, this is all still borrowed from Brahma. Here, pride dissolved, and the very strong message of true philosophy or the truth of Brahma is something that is hindered by pride and ego. Katha Upanishad is the profound story of Nachiketa and Yama, where Nachiketa is persistent and his dedication to understand is prevalent. The stories and the philosophies that are shared by Yama to Nachiketa have a derived meaning, where it is understood that all the efforts have to be towards Shreyas, that is the good for the Atma, over Prayas, that is the pleasant for the body. The self is usually very stubborn and it needs to understand the higher cause. Another example that arises out of the story is like the analogy of the body as the chariot. The senses, the mind, the intellect is what governs it all, and the Atman is purely a witness to everything that is happening, untouched by the doings of the body, the mind, and the senses, and far superior to them all. The Prashna Upanishad is something that completely defeats ego and the false thought of knowledge that is gained to actually accept that there is still higher knowledge. Through the very deep questions asked by the 6 students to Rishi Pipalada, the derived message is that prana is the greatest. The upasana on Omkara, Pranava, will lead to liberation. Mundaka Upanishad is a story between Shokana and Angirasa, where the understanding between the higher knowledge, that is Paravidya, which is beyond all the tangible knowledge, as the Aparavidya, where Paravidya is purely philosophical and Aparavidya is everything that is within the Vedas themselves. This defines and defeats the thought process of knowledge itself, and wisdom through experience is given a higher status and leads towards Paravidya. Taittiriya Upanishad is also full of stories where actually the message comes in that everything that is tangible is not Brahma on its own. Although the greatness of Anna, of Prana, of Mana, of Buddhi are there that take you to Brahma and give you a lot of Ananda, they all are there before Brahma. Brahma is reached by progressive introspection, which rises and puts behind all of these. Aitreya Upanishad explains through stories that Atma alone existed before creation. It pervades through all of creation, and it is within this, into this Atma, that all of creation will dissolve. The Mahavakya Prajananam Brahma exists in this Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad is rich in stories and narratives, and various messages are derived from this. The Jabala and Satyakama story gives the message that truthfulness itself is the qualification to learn higher knowledge. The origins and the Varna is secondary and not as important as truthful knowledge. Another story between Udakala and Shvetaketu, they explain how everything is a part of Brahma itself. The identity of the individual itself is Brahma. It needs to be correlated with Brahma. The Mahavakya, the famous Tattvamasi, is from this particular story. In another story, Chandogya Upanishad again reiterates through a dialogue and conversation between Indra and Virochana, who approach Prajapati asking about the greatness of the self, the truth behind the self. The message derived from this is that understanding everything that is related with the body, including the mind, and everything related to the manifest world, is still not Brahma. You need to keep these behind to go to the higher self. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad talks about Yajnavalkya and Maitri conversation, where the great Rishi decides to divide all his wealth between his two wives. But Maitreya asks, what is that which is beyond material, which can last beyond anything that is manifest? Here, the message is very straightforward, that it is only Atman, which is not restricted by positions or relationships, that is the pure and the true expression of love for the self itself. Another story of Janaka's court, the debate between Yajnavalkya and with Gargi, says how to describe this Brahma itself. Since Brahma is beyond description, the only manner in which one can come closer to understanding what Brahma is through negation. Neti, neti, not this, not this. When we say not this and not this, it is not negating what it is, but it is an expression of saying beyond this and beyond this. So understanding Brahma is much more than anything that actually words can explain. In this manner, the various stories in the different Upanishads make a very powerful narrative where the message is comprehensible we are able to understand the philosophies. Learning is a human trait, and wisdom and understanding philosophy is beyond learning, purely experiential, and an awakening of the truth within that comes out through the stories. This is the power of the stories of Upanishad. Thank you.